This presentation has been designed for parents and carers to provide information about young people and vaping. The presentation has been developed by North West Glasgow Health Improvement Team on behalf of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. Please note that the information that will be shared in this presentation is about young people under the age of 18. Here you can see that there has been a lot of media interest around the subject of vaping recently. The majority of these headlines are focused on the negative effects of vaping on young people. So what is vaping? Vapes, also known as electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes, are battery-powered devices that heat a liquid, called an e-liquid, to produce a vapour that is then inhaled by the user. E-liquid typically contains nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance, propylene glycol, which is a common additive in food. Although it is non-toxic when ingested, its safety when inhaled cannot be guaranteed. Vegetable glycerine. This is a liquid which is frequently used in cosmetic products and medicines, and similarly, its safety when inhaled cannot be guaranteed. Lastly, flavourings. These are not safety tested for inhalation, and some flavourings have even been shown to increase the toxicity of the vapour. Vapes come in a variety of designs. Some of the different models available are shown in the photos. It is key to note that this is a rapidly evolving market and new models continue to come to the market regularly. It is important to highlight that vapes are not meant to be used by young people or people who do not smoke. Vapes were created to help adults who smoke with cravings when they are trying to quit. Vapes come in a variety of different designs, with refillable and single-use devices being available to buy. Single-use disposable vapes are the most popular type of device amongst young people. They are single-use as they are designed to be discarded after the e-liquid has been used. This may be over the course of a couple of days or weeks, depending on how frequently the vape is being used. Disposable vapes come in a variety of colours and flavours and are very easy to conceal. They come in a variety of designs, many in eye-catching colours, and some are even shaped like children's toys. Alongside this, they often come in a range of flavours such as raspberry lemonade, grape energy, green gummy bear, cotton candy, and strawberry ice cream. These sweet flavours can increase their attractiveness to children and young people. Single-use vapes are very affordable to young people. They are often being sold for as little as £3, making them accessible for many young people. The use of disposable vapes has increased from 6.8% to 69% between 2020 and 2023 among 11 to 17-year-olds in Great Britain. Vapes are not free of harm and should not be used by young people or people who do not smoke. When we look at marketing, vapes are often branded as bright, colourful, flavourful devices. This is because legislation around vape marketing is not strict like tobacco. Shop displays are often strategically placed and very eye-catching for young people to be drawn to them. Influencers on social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok are often seen using and promoting the use of vapes to their viewers and followers. Unlike cigarettes, certain forms of vape promotion is still permitted. Adverts should not be targeted towards children and young people. If you are concerned about this, you can report it to the Advertising Standards Authority at www.asa.org.uk. In terms of nicotine, it is a stimulant drug which is highly addictive. Nicotine dependence develops by inhaling nicotine from a vape. It then travels to the brain and here it activates receptors which stimulate the release of dopamine. Dopamine is known as the feel-good hormone as it leads to feelings of calmness and reward. Dopamine levels reduce over a short period of time, leading to withdrawal symptoms of stress and anxiety, and this triggers the desire to have another puff. Nicotine can harm adolescent and young adult brain development, which continues up into the age of 25. Early exposure to nicotine can impact on parts of the brain that control concentration levels, learning ability, mood, and impulse control. Using nicotine in adolescence can increase a young person's risk of harm from other substances, such as cannabis and cocaine. It is worthwhile to note that some vapes have been marketed as nicotine-free, but testing has confirmed that they do in fact contain nicotine. The reasons for using vapes differs between young people who smoke and those who have not. In the most recent ASH Smoke-Free Great Britain survey of 11 to 17-year-olds, the majority of participants who have never smoked gave the reason for trying or using a vape as just to give it a try. 17.5% of participants who smoked regularly reported that they enjoy the experience. 10.7% were using it as a stop smoking aid, and 10.3% stated they were addicted to it. When we asked local young people in Greater Glasgow and Clyde why they vaped, some of their answers included, "It was a trend and I felt pressured into it. I wanted to be cool and felt if I said no, it would be embarrassing. It calms me down. I would get angry and that would make me feel calmer. I liked the taste of them." Since 2021, the proportion of young people currently vaping has been greater than that of currently smoking, 7.6% in comparison to 3.6% in 2023. Between 2018 and 2022, there was a steep increase in vape use amongst young people. The graph here shows data captured from 3 different surveys carried out across Scotland. In this 4-year period, the number of 15-year-olds reporting using a vape in the last 30 days increased from 7% to 25%. So how harmful are vapes? Based on evidence reviewed in a recently published report by the Department of Health and Social Care in England, vaping poses a small fraction of the risks of smoking in the short and medium term. There is not enough long-term evidence available to know the long-term harms. Vaping is not risk-free, particularly for children, young people, and people who have never smoked. With the increase of vape use amongst young people, there are concerns that a new generation may become addicted to nicotine. There is emerging evidence that suggests vapes may create a new route into smoking for young people. In terms of health, recent evidence has highlighted individuals experiencing certain health impacts as a result of vape use. Studies suggest that the use of vapes can negatively impact on both the heart and lung health of an individual. Alongside this, increasing reports are documenting cases of severe lung illness relating to vaping. People with underlying health conditions are going to be more at risk of developing such complications. A number of common side effects have also been recorded, and these include symptoms such as a dry cough, shortness of breath, and headaches. Recent research indicates that vaping may affect sporting performance and lead to lung inflammation, which can make it harder to do well in sports. Many ingredients in the e-liquid are considered safe for ingestion, but when heated, these may not be safe to inhale. Flavours in the e-liquid could potentially lead to allergic reactions. Due to lack of long-term studies, long-term health impacts are unknown. In terms of mental health, when a person is dependent on or addicted to nicotine and stops using it, their body and brain have to get used to not having nicotine. This can result in temporary symptoms of nicotine withdrawal. Nicotine withdrawal symptoms include irritability, restlessness, feeling anxious or depressed, having trouble sleeping, problems concentrating, and craving nicotine. People may keep using a vape to help relieve these symptoms. Young people may turn to vaping to try to deal with stress or anxiety, creating a cycle of nicotine dependence. But nicotine addiction can be a source of stress in itself. Vapes often contain a lithium-ion battery to power them, and this can result in safety concerns if not used, stored, and disposed of correctly. This includes events such as short circuits, explosions, and fire, which can result in physical burns to those using. To avoid this, you should ensure that the battery is protected against being damaged, crushed, punctured, or immersed in water. They should be kept away from metal items such as coins or keys. Care should also be taken to ensure that the vape and battery are not exposed to excessive temperatures. There have been reports of vapes being sold which have been tampered with and therefore do not meet the required safety standards. These are more likely to result in safety concerns. Alongside this, recent reports have highlighted an increasing number of incidents of young people accidentally swallowing liquid nicotine from vape refills. This is harmful as it poses a risk of poisoning. Any safety issues regarding vapes should be reported via the yellow card scheme. Many disposable vapes are not being disposed of correctly, causing harm to the environment. There are three main ways that vapes can be harmful to the environment. Firstly, toxic and hazardous waste from nicotine and other chemicals can leak into the environment, and this can be lethal to wildlife. Secondly, single-use plastic cartridges are largely non-biodegradable and are poorly recyclable. The plastic will eventually break down into smaller pieces of plastic, which are known as microplastics. These can harm marine wildlife and even end up in our drinking water. Lastly, most vapes contain lithium-ion batteries, which often end up being discarded in normal waste bins, and this can pose a fire hazard. Zero Waste Scotland estimated that in 2022, up to 26 million disposable vapes were thrown away in Scotland. In terms of legislation in Scotland, vapes are an age-restricted product. It is illegal to sell vapes to anyone under 18 and to buy vapes on behalf of anyone under 18. There are restrictions on the strength of the nicotine sold in e-liquids to no more than 20 milligrams. The size of the e-liquid bottle or tank is also restricted to 2 millilitres. Recent data from the ASH Smoke-Free Great Britain survey showed how young people were accessing vapes. 47% of respondents were purchasing them from shops. This survey includes participants from Scotland, highlighting issues with ease of access of these products for young people. Many vapes sold online and in some shops have been found to be non-compliant and therefore not intended for the UK market. Trading standards estimate that a third of vapes sold are non-compliant and therefore illegal. These include vapes with oversized tanks or unsafe levels of nicotine or other substances, including drugs such as cannabis. As these vapes do not comply with the UK regulations, it is not possible to know exactly what's in these vapes, the quantity of the contents, and the possible health risks. If you find out that a shop is selling vapes to young people or selling non-compliant vapes, you can report it to Trading Standards for further investigation. Visit the Consumer Advice website on consumeradvice.scot. A ban on the sale and supply of disposable vapes in Scotland is due by April 2025. Measures will also include restrictions on vape flavours and promotion, as well as changing age limits for buying tobacco. The legislation would mean that refillable, reusable vapes will remain available alongside other tools for smoking cessation, such as nicotine patches and medication, but with greater restrictions in place. So how can we protect our young people from using vapes? Parents and carers are encouraged to approach vaping like any other age-restricted product, for example alcohol or cigarettes. Tips include: take the time to discuss vaping with young people and ensure that you can provide them with the right facts and information. Take opportunities to provide accurate and clear information on the risks of vaping, including that some long-term risks remain unclear. Take opportunities to provide accurate and clear information on the dangers of nicotine and how it is a highly addictive substance that can affect young people's brain development. Discourage the experimentation of vaping and encourage them to make safe choices. Be aware of where you can signpost a young person to for further information and advice. In terms of action, if you are aware of premises that sell vapes to under 18s, please share this with Trading Standards via the Consumer Advice website, which is consumeradvice.scot. All information received is treated as confidential and is investigated and/or test purchased to ensure compliance. Complaints about all other inappropriate advertising and promotion of vaping to under 18s, for example adverts on social media sites, should be made to the Advertising Standards Authority through the online complaints portal. The website for that is www.asa.org.uk/make-a-complaint.html. For advice to stop vaping, visit the Quit Your Way Scotland website, which is www.quityourway.scot. Here you can find out more information and contact details to speak to an advisor, either by phone or by chatting online. Childline provides tips for quitting vaping, as well as access to a Childline counsellor or their interactive message boards. Lastly, Parent Club offer advice on what to do if you think that your child may be vaping. They also provide tips for starting a conversation about vaping with a child. Thank you for listening.